From our Chicago studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Samana Siddiqui. Our top story tonight, Israel continues to bomb Palestinians in Gaza. The latest Israeli airstrikes have left more than 50 Palestinians dead. Palestinian news agency Wafa reports that at least 40 Palestinians lost their lives in Khan Yunis. An additional Israeli airstrike on the Nusayrat refugee camp killed at least 10 more Palestinians. The situation escalated as Israeli forces surrounded the Jabalia refugee camp. Video footage has also shown the bombing of a multi-story home in Deir al-Balah, resulting in numerous casualties. Kamal Adwan Hospital, one of Gaza's few operational health facilities in the north, has been shelled by Israeli tanks. Gaza's healthcare system is overwhelmed. The Nasser Medical Complex is urgently seeking blood donations due to the influx of critically injured patients. Fierce clashes continue between Palestinian fighters and Israeli troops on the outskirts of Gaza City and Khan Yunis. Israeli Major General Yaron Finkelman, head of the Southern Command, says troops are involved in the heaviest fighting. 3 more Israeli soldiers lost their lives, bringing the total casualties to 5 in the past 24 hours. At least 80 Israeli soldiers have been killed during 1 month of ground operations in Gaza. The Israeli army has disclosed that more than 100,000 artillery shells have been fired since October 27th. Since October 7th, the death toll stands at 15,899 Palestinians killed in Gaza and about 1,200 dead in Israel. Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Mike Turner, says the U.S. is taking a careful approach to sharing intelligence with Israel. This is particularly in relation to tracking leaders of Hamas. In an interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Turner stressed the U.S. is exercising selectivity in the information it provides to Israel. Turner expressed concern about the shortcomings in Israeli intelligence during the October 7th Hamas attack, characterizing it as a significant breakdown. He noted the worrisome aspect was not only the intelligence failure, but also Israeli forces' inability to respond to the unfolding attack due to a lack of deployment capability. Turner emphasized the failure extended beyond intelligence and highlighted the need for comprehensive improvements in readiness and response to such situations. The State Department expressed condolences to the family of Muntasir al-Sawaf, a cameraman working for Turkey's Anadolu news agency. He was killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. Spokesman Matthew Miller conveyed the department's sadness over the loss of journalists who often work under perilous conditions. Miller said there was no information to support the claim that Israel was deliberately targeting journalists to control the flow of information. He said there are ongoing discussions with Israel to minimize civilian casualties. Miller noted some improvement in Israel's targeting in the south of Gaza with more targeted evacuations. However, he expressed concern about the military campaign in southern Gaza. Israeli intelligence agents raided the home of Sheikh Ikrama Sabri, the preacher of Al-Aqsa Mosque in East Jerusalem. Sabri's lawyer Khalid Zabarka Sabri was also handed an order to bar him from travel. He said the preacher is facing a campaign by right-wing Israelis. The lawyer said his home was raided on Sunday to hand him a demolition order for the building where he lives. The 84-year-old preacher has been detained multiple times by Israel and banned from entering Al-Aqsa Mosque for several months. Sabri is a staunch critic of the decades-long Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories. He previously held the position of Mufti of Jerusalem and the Palestinian territories from 1994 to 2006. Al-Aqsa Mosque is the world's third holiest site for Muslims. Jews call the area the Temple Mount, claiming it was the site of 2 Jewish temples in ancient times. Israel occupied East Jerusalem, where Al-Aqsa is located, during the 1967 Arab-Israeli War. It annexed the city in 1980, a move that was never recognized by the international community. Palestinian telecommunication company Jawwal reports a total blackout in Gaza City and north of the territory on Monday amid Israeli airstrikes. The company says phone and internet services were interrupted as a result of damage caused to key elements of the network because of the ongoing aggression. Jawwal says communication services are partially working in central and southern Gaza. The Gaza hospitals struggle with rapid spread of infectious diseases. Details after the break, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Gaza's doctors are sounding the alarm about a surge in infectious diseases within hospitals. This is largely attributed to overcrowding caused by civilians displaced during Israel's attacks. Physicians at Nasser Hospital in the city of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza emphasized that the lack of essential vaccines for newborns is accelerating the spread of diseases. Hospitals are also grappling with casualties and fatalities stemming from intense Israeli attacks. Dr. Asim Muhammad said overcrowded conditions are ideal for disease transmission, which is made worse by inadequate medical equipment and limited access to clean water. Hospital surroundings are teeming with ailments such as fungal infections, skin issues, pneumonia, and epidemics. Dr. Yusuf Adnan says thousands suffer from diarrhea daily due to water scarcity, branding the situation a disaster. Head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, recently visited Nassar Medical Hospital, describing it as overcrowded and beyond inadequate for providing health care. Hamas has dismissed Israeli accusations of raping Israeli citizens during the October 7th attack. Hamas called it a desperate attempt to distort the group's humane treatment of Israeli captives. It released 110 prisoners held during its cross-border attack, including 86 Israelis and 24 foreigners. Most of them were released during a week-long humanitarian pause in fighting last week. Nearly 136 prisoners are still believed to be held by the group. Footage released by Hamas showed some released prisoners saluting the fighters as they were set free. Hamas has called on media outlets to remain vigilant, not to fall into the trap of Israel's lies and its tendentious propaganda. A prominent German human rights organization has raised concerns about recent bans on pro-Palestinian demonstrations, calling them highly problematic. Director of the German Institute for Human Rights, Bitte Rudolph, emphasized the need to combat anti-Semitism while avoiding the stigmatization of Palestinian, Arab, or Muslim communities. She stressed that all people in Germany have the right to freedom of assembly, allowing them to express their solidarity with Gaza and mourn the victims of the conflict. Rudolph also expressed deep concern over the rise of anti-Muslim racism in Germany following the Gaza conflict's outbreak in October. Chairman of the Central Council of Muslims in Germany, Ayman Maziek, shared the same concerns, citing an alarming increase in attacks on mosques and individuals perceived as Muslims. Former Israeli Internal Security Service Chief Yuval Disin has called for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's immediate resignation. Disin criticized Netanyahu's handling of the conflict since Hamas's October 7th attack. He described Netanyahu as appearing defeated and indifferent during the initial 2 weeks following the attack. Disin advocated for choosing new leadership in the upcoming elections that is trustworthy and humble, prioritizing the people's welfare over self-interest. Netanyahu has faced mounting criticism for not taking responsibility for the Hamas attack. A recent poll showed only 27% of Israelis supported him to run the government, while 49% favored Benny Gantz, leader of the National Unity Party. U.S. District Chief Judge Alia Moses has denied Texas's motion for a preliminary injunction aimed at stopping the Department of Homeland Security from cutting wire fencing along the U.S.-Mexico border. Texas filed a lawsuit in October seeking to prevent DHS officials from cutting the fence. Initially, Justice Moses granted a partial block on wire fence cutting, but allowed it in specific emergency situations. After extensive hearings, she concluded there was insufficient evidence to show DHS had cut the fence without permissible emergency circumstances. She clarified this action wasn't a final agency decision. Texas plans to appeal this decision. This case is part of a broader legal battle over the state's efforts to curb immigration from Mexico. A St. Louis mosque is requesting permission to construct its cemetery to accommodate its expanding population. With more than 1,700 members, Dar al-Jalal Mosque's current burial arrangement is insufficient to meet demand. Mosque Representative Tony Al-Gam says it has been searching for suitable land since 2016 and is under contract for a 5-acre plot that can hold 5,000 graves. Al-Gam said the cemetery would ensure a respectful resting place for generations and meet the community's long-term needs, aligning with Islamic laws and customs. There's been some opposition from concerns about property values and funeral procession traffic. Cemetery supporters counter that with data showing no significant decline in property values when cemeteries are established. That's all from our Chicago studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Salam and good night.